Hey, Trisha here at Club Scrap with the Galaxy Page Kit Assembly Workshop. I'm really excited to share this kit with you. I think it's absolutely stunning. The cuts aren't so bad, so we're going to have an easy time of just prepping everything, and this is going to be great. So I've got my instructions all printed out, and of course my Fiskars trimmer, and then my accordion pocket file to keep us organized. I say this every time, but if you don't have this accordion pocket file, reach out. We'd like to help get you set up to make one for yourself so you can stay organized and use your vertical space efficiently. So as we trim everything for 8 layouts, it's going to fit right into this accordion pocket file in the pocket that is designated for each layout. So there you have it. We're going to begin by taking the photo mats from your Galaxy kit, and we'll get those filed into the appropriate pockets. So let's take 3 teal mats. Now in this paper collection, you've got your teal, purple, metallic, black, and blue. So the teal is going to go into pocket 1 and 2. And then we're going to grab 1 purple, also going into pocket 1 and 2. 2 more purple in pocket 3 and 4. And 3 of them also in pocket 3 and 4. So that we really used a lot of them. And then finally, we'll take the last 3 black ones and put them in pocket 5 and 6. And then I'm sure you have all of those goodies. Be careful you don't lose anything, especially those little cabochons. I'm going to set all the goodies aside, maybe over here, kind of like that, like this cabochon just went flying. And we're going to put the paper in the order that we'll be trimming it. So again, typically I hold the paper vertically on my work surface so I can see all of the pieces in front of me, and it's just easier to sort through. So I want you to look in your stack for one of the purple prints that we're going to trim, and then just put it face down on your work surface. Next, go back a little ways and look for a metallic black. Such a lovely paper. Next, how about a plain purple? So it's just that nice deep purple on both sides, and then we've got 1 teal plain. Then we'll switch to the cut-up parts. Those are usually on the bottom of your stack. So the one that has a little bit more teal in it goes next, face down. And then we have the other one that's a little bit more purple with a lot of the border strips. We'll put that face down. And next I want you to find 2 sheets of that blue plain. So you should still have 2 of those. And then 1 of those gorgeous teal prints, face down, followed by the other teal plain. Gets a little easier to sort as we work our way to the bottom of the pile. Okay, and then we're going to do another purple print and a purple plain, and then the teal print face down and the metallic black next. Okay, so flip the whole thing back over where we started with the purple print. And we're just going to deal with all these papers sheet by sheet. Okay, now with this, if you want to do it exactly how I did mine, you'll place this purple print into the trimmer with the lightest area going along the left edge. Does it really matter? No, but I know that folks always like to do kind of what I did. So anyway, we're going to cut right here at 7 3/4. If it's your first time, I'll probably be going a little fast for you. Slow me down by adjusting your playback speed if you like. And then always just make sure your paper is resting along the top edge of that trimmer guide up here. And before every single cut, push down on the clear bar. So again, that's 7 3/4. Another really common mistake is just looking at centimeters instead of inches. So 7 3/4 is getting close to 8, right? Okay, 7 3/4, and then 5 3/4. That's just a little bit further down. And notice I'm letting the paper accumulate to the right of my trimmer blade here, and we'll deal with it piece by piece. Now take the piece that's in your trimmer right now and rotate it so it's horizontal, and let's trim at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. Okay, so you just made 3 pieces that are the same size. Let's stack all of those up, and they're going to go in pockets 7 and 8. And then I take this skinny strip and also place that in 7 and 8. Now, if you're using the accordion pocket file for the first time, just be aware that the file is only 12 inches wide and so is the paper. So I just usually let it kind of hang out the end on one side so I can still see the pocket labels more easily. Oh, I just also to mention, we have this skinny little piece that fell off the end earlier. That's going to go in pocket 5 and 6. We're actually going to use that guy. And then this larger piece that remains, pocket 3 and 4, again at an angle. And now grab for the black, that beautiful metallic black, and we're going to cut at 11, 10, 8 3/4, and 6. Now take the 6 by 12. We'll typically do this, rotate it so it's horizontal, and trim at 8 and 4. All right, now we've got 3 pieces of the same size. Let's take one of them, put it in pocket 1 and 2, and the others 7 and 8. And then you have this narrow strip. It's 2 3/4 by 12 right now. We're going to make a bunch of squares. So let's cut at 11. That doesn't make a square. And then 8 1/4, 5 1/2, 2 3/4. So what you've created now are 4 nice looking squares, all going into pocket 1 and 2. And then you have this little rectangle. We're going to use him in 7 and 8. Then the last 3 remaining strips, one is a little wider than the other 2. The wide one goes in 3 and 4. One of the skinny ones goes in 1 and 2. And the other in 7 and 8. Next, take one of the purple. That should be next in your stack. And we're going to trim this at 11 3/4. 10 1/2. Again, that's 10 1/2. 9 1/4. And 6 1/4. Then rotate the piece so it's horizontal and find 8 1/2 and 4 1/4. You just made 2 pieces that are the same size. Put one of them in 5 and 6 and the other in 7 and 8. And then you have the smaller rectangle that remains that will trim at 6 and 3. These 2 rectangles will be used in 7 and 8. And I regret to inform you that there is a small scrap here. The next 3 by 12 strip, we're going to cut at 8 and 4. Then gather up those 3 rectangles, and they're going to be used in layout 1 and 2. For the rest of the strips, the 2 that are the same width, those go in 1 and 2, and then you have a real skinny guy. He's going to go in 5 and 6. So far, our only scrap is this. That's not bad. Okay, now the teal. So we're going to place this in the trimmer at 10 3/4, 10 3/4, and then 8 1/2, 4 3/4. Okay, rotate this piece so it's horizontal, and we'll start at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. All right, now stack up the 3 rectangles that are the same, and those are going to go in 5 and 6. And this little scrappy piece, 7 and 8. And then the next strip, this is going to be a 3 3/4 by 12. You don't have to measure them. If you just let them pile up, grab the one on top, because I'm always going to go in that same order. And we'll trim at 11 1/2 and 5 3/4. 2 pieces should be the same, going in 7 and 8. And this is our other scrap. Then you have 2 longer strips. The wide one goes in 5 and 6, and the skinnier one, 7 and 8. Now I need you to take a moment to look very, very carefully at the corner of your cut apart. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that very well, but on this corner, there's a little hash mark, and I want you to line up that hash mark with the edge of your trimmer blade so that we take that part off of this piece and turn it into a perfect 12 by 12 by trimming around the entire perimeter using those marks as a guide. Now the first mark, the paper size almost prohibits me from seeing perfectly what's going on there, so I might just cut a little bit shy of that mark and then go back to finish it in a minute. So I'm just going to work my way around this whole piece and get a nice straight cut on each edge by lining up those hash marks with the edge of my blade. You can go ahead and pause me while you work on this for yourself, and if you want, you could always just do this before you even push play on the videos, because this is kind of a standard operating procedure. Once that's done, we always kind of want to trim these with the narrowest pieces coming off the edge of the blade first. So I'm going to begin with never tell me the sky's the limit. When there are footprints on the moon, we'll cut at 11 and then 10. Let those pieces pile up, then down to 7.5 and 4. Next cut's nice and easy. Just rotate and cut at 6. Okay, life is a series. That's going to go in pocket 1 and 2. And then never stop looking up. That's 5 and 6. The next strip, now notice we take a strip, we trim it into smaller pieces if needed and file it. Then we'll take the next strip, trim it into smaller pieces and file it. So this is going to be cut at 9.5 and 7. So this larger piece goes in pocket 7 and 8. And then we've got a journaling prompt, also 7 and 8, and the other one in 5 and 6. I try to give you a journaling prompt for every page, every double page spread. Next, let's cut at 9.5, 7, and 4.5. This piece, Follow Your Dreams, that goes in 3 and 4. Then the next 3 squares, they all go in 1 and 2. And then the 2 border strips that remain also go in 1 and 2. And then we need to remove the perimeter once again from our other sheet of cut aparts. Just work very carefully to get that all looking perfect. And really the goal here is when you begin your actual official trimming that you would have the reading of 12 inches on the left edge of your print. So let's go ahead and trim this at 11.25. 10.5, 9, 7.5, 5.5, and 3.5. Now rotate this banner piece, and we're just going to go ahead and cut at 4.5. And then these 2 pieces will both be used on layout 3 and 4. The next strip we need to do some trimming, so we'll start at 10, and then 8, 6, and 3. Now, do you notice how this has that tag shape? And I've shown this to you just maybe a few times, but sometimes I take a craft knife and cutting mat and then just carefully measure and cut the corners. Another easy and quick way to do that is to bring the corner of the piece close to the edge of the blade and then bring my guillotine down and just try to get it so it's lined up with a margin that equals the one on the sides, and then just give it a little snip. And it's a quick way to do it. I can just see where that blade's going to go, and this piece goes in pocket 1 and 2. The next one, I'm going to repeat the little corner nip here. And it's just getting us that much further to completion. This goes in pocket 3 and 4. Then we have the Believe 1 and 2, Hope 5 and 6, Dream 7 and 8. And then with care, if you just pick up the remaining strips, I'm going to leave them all in the order they landed and deal them out from my hand rather than picking one strip up at a time from the table. It goes much quicker. And we're going to place this in 5 and 6. This little guy, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. 7 and 8. Love you to the moon and back. This goes in 5 and 6. We've got this strip here with just stars on it, 1 and 2, and then this last and final one in 7 and 8. Okay, now, good news is we are completely finished with all of our trimming. I'm going to get rid of those little triangles. And of course, if you wanted to, you could get rid of these little scraps. So that's the only thing left from our trimming process that doesn't have an assignment on our pages. Getting rid of my trimmer, I'm going to lay my accordion pocket file on its back. It's the trimmer that holds it up. And then take all the remaining papers that you have in front of you, place the entire stack to the left of the center of your workspace, and then just slide the top piece over. Get this out of the way here. So now what I have in front of me are the base papers for layouts 7 and 8. We're going to work backwards from 8 to 1. So if I turn in my instructions, which this is a downloadable item, turn to the bottom of page 4 and you'll see layouts 7 and 8, and the papers required for these 2 pages are both blue. So now I have what I need there. I'm going to get the rest of the things for this layout out of pocket 7 and 8. There's a lot in there. I'm going to try to grab it, and if you want to organize it, the best way for me to hand things out easily, again, is to deal them out from the palm of my hand. So let's begin just by putting the pieces kind of where they're going to end up to see how these layouts come together. So that print goes across the top, and then underneath it you can put the, you may say I'm a dreamer. Okay, nice. And then let's see, what else do we have here? This is a good place to go. Let's take these prints and we're going to put them in a row along the right edge of the page. And then I'm going to take a teal strip, and nest it with black, and then this border. So we've got like a triple separator here from this like filmed strip style on the right, and then we have this triple matted thing, and then a vertical photo mat here. This will take a full 4x6 picture, and then there's a journaling prompt that we'll add beneath it. And then these little scraps that we saved, I'm going to show you a fun trick with those. So just sit tight on that, and when I show you the finished page, I'll show you what I did. And then over here we've got this vertical strip here, and then 2 horizontals kind of right there. And then we've got our nested. So we have the black metallic that pairs up with the teal and nests perfectly. So I can place that here, place this here, and then the dream goes right there. Now for this page, I'm going to cut a little V into this, it would have been a scrap, but we rescued it, right? And I'm going to cut a V into this one also. And then I'm also, since it's kind of long, I'm going to just trim a little off the end here. So then you have this little banner type effect. And in your kit, you also have some washi tape. So I'm going to cut a little V into the washi tape as well. And then take off a little strip, but that matches the length of these pieces. And I'm going to use my tape gun just to quickly adhere the banner. And then I can take the washi tape and add a 3rd layer. Oh my goodness, it looks so sweet. And the whole works can get tucked right behind your little element there. So that's how we did it. So let's take a look at these finished pages. The final piece to finishing this, and Jacqueline just cleverly designed a little, almost like a little crown for the stars. So indicator, it's a good spot to put this little mini star patch. Here's my triple banner. And these are nice and level and added with a grid ruler to keep them straight. You can see this is all nice and level. And then on the other side, 2 finishing touches here, or maybe there's 3. So let me show you on the dream how I clipped those corners. If you happen to have a circle punch and you just sort of look and you find the edge of that clipped corner and you just move your way out away from it, you can just remove a curved area from the corner, and it's going to be nice and neat, probably neater and more even than if you do it with the scissors, but I do it with scissors as well. So that's how I did that piece. Get rid of all this Okay, and then the little cabochon, the little nebula cabochon, some bookbinding glue from a needle tip applicator is all you need to attach it. And then over here, I did a 3-part bow, but I actually added a 4th part by adding a 2nd ribbon. And I do have a video with ribbon basics, just clubscrap.com/pages/ribbon, and that'll take you to a video that covers a lot of the different ways I use ribbon. So that was layout 7. So now what we're going to do is just take the base paper, the blue, from the left and slide it on top of the blue on the right. Take the very next sheet and slide it over to the right. And now I have the base for layouts 5 and 6, which I can then remove the contents of pocket 5 and 6. And if you've never done this system before, you have the joy of just trimming and preparing everything without the anxiety of figuring out what to do, which I think is a pretty cool advantage when you are a member of Club Scrap. Everything is just so much easier. Let's take a nice wide strip of teal and nest it with this Phases of the Moon cut apart here. And then I'm going to take, let's see, we've got 3 of these black metallic photo mats going on here. We've got 1 vertical on that side and 2 horizontal on this side. You know, there's no right or wrong order. I'm just kind of walking you through how I would do it if, you know, I was working on it myself. A vertical purple here, nested with Never Stop Looking Up. And then we should be able to fit perfectly a row of 3 teal mats along here. And we're going to accent with a journaling prompt and then one of those star patches. I trimmed a circle from this with my scissors. If you happen to have a thin, you know, steel rule die that you can just die cut this, that's great too. It worked fine for me for a scissors, and I attached it with foam adhesive. Across the top, I'm going to add this guy, the thin strip across the top. And I did, once again, just added a chevron to this and place this at the bottom. I did add quite a bit of the beautiful washi tape to this page, which I'll show you in a minute, but I also made a super cool bow. So I'm going to give this a whirl. I'm just learning along with you, but I always like to learn new things. So let's give this a try. Let's take our ribbon and hold your hand like the number 4 and just stabilize the ribbon with your thumb. Then run it behind your index finger, over your 2nd and 3rd finger, and then around your pinky. And then go around all of that again. But this time, I'm just looping around, okay? Then, so my ribbon's coming up. I'm going to bring it underneath and go right through the hole between my 2nd and 3rd finger here. Between my 3rd and 4th finger, actually, with this ribbon. And pull it all the way through. So, if you haven't cut anything off your ribbon yet, that's a lot of ribbon. And then wrap that around. Now you're back to this side again. And now, bring the ribbon underneath the ribbon you just wrapped around and pull. So now you can remove your fingers and you've got a really pretty bow with 2 loops. Isn't that nice? Oh my goodness, I think that's so pretty. I'm so glad I learned how to make this, and just, you know, I just kind of explored and looked for different things. You can take your ribbon and then I fold it the long way and cut at an angle toward the center of the bow here. Just cut at an angle, boom. And that's gonna go right here. Gorgeous. Okay, so that is that double bow. So pretty, double basic bow. Gotta name it now, I suppose. That's what's gonna go right there. Now, let me show you the finished pages before we move on. Here is my first attempt. It's still very pretty. And then I added the patch right here. Other than that, no special techniques there. And then I added 2 of the star patches. There's my hope, pop dotted, and then 1 last little nebula. Now for the order of assembly on this, I started up here with this piece, then added the 1/4 inch strip above it, and added the washi tape right below that. It's nudged right up against it. Then this piece gets attached, and this nested piece. Then the other horizontal washi tape needs to go in, so you know this photo mat can cover the tape, and then this you can tuck underneath the mat. So the order of assembly is kind of important on that one. And now I'm going to do another stack and slide here. So let's stack this piece on top and slide this one over to reveal the base for our next layout, which is 3 and 4. So that's going to involve going backwards in our instructions. Here's layout 3 and 4. And, you know, I don't know how you want to lay this out. It's kind of up to you which way you want to rotate your paper. It's just so stunning. I don't even want to cover it at all. Okay, now I'm going to take this largest piece, get it out of my hand, and place this along, flush with the right edge of this purple paper here. And this gets placed nudged right up next to it. And the other one over here. Now on mine, I used a craft knife and cutting mat just to remove at an angle the excess white from that V shape to kind of complete the banner shape. Across the top here, I've got that solid black, and you'll run the full length of it with the beautiful Constellation washi tape. This is such a simple layout. I've got 2 vertical pieces here, blue, 2 horizontal in purple. We need a journaling prompt. We'll add this here and 1 more photo mat. So this is going to be a photo heavy layout with a couple of finishing touches that are quite easy. Again, you trim that excess white away. You could use your scissors, but I think a craft knife and cutting mat's going to be a little straighter. Here you can see the washi tape running through on top of the black metallic, and then glued a little cabochon right next to the title. Hope you can see that right there. Okay, then on the other side, just one simple little touch. I took, as long as I had my craft knife out, I took it out and I added a little notch to the top of the tag so I could loop this ombre ribbon through the tag. Then some foam adhesive on the back so it makes it pop a little bit, and wrap this around at the back and just secured it with tape. You could use washi tape to secure it as well. So very, very simple double page spread, and sometimes, you know, in life you just need one of those, right? Slide, take the next piece and stack. I think I'm going to put the dark portion on the right edge, maybe. Up to you. And then take everything out of your final pocket. And from my hand again, I do like to deal, and I hope it's kind of making sense to you now why I do it that way. I'm going to take a purple strip here, and above and below then. So it'll get one up and up top and one down low. And then we do have a title. So this one is Never Tell Me the Sky's the Limit. And then another piece going across the bottom. Now I did end up putting another strip of Constellation washi tape over the top of it because I wanted to. And I used some across the top here, which you'll see in the instruction document. Then we've got teal horizontals, and again, watch the order of assembly here. Make sure this is down before you try adding your teal mat. And then this one is what determines the separation between the top and bottom strips. So we're going to frame that in with a little space between each at the top and bottom. Layer, life is a series of thousands of tiny miracles. And this is why I thought this would be a great baby kit. I just think a newborn and this, it could make the most gorgeous. So if you've got a baby around, why don't you try matching up some of your pictures with this lovely collection. Okay, vertical nested over here with one of the purple above. Then we've got a journaling prompt going this way. So it makes a little grouping of 3. A nested border strip to the right of that. Boom. And then you're going to have those, remember those squares that we made? Check how they line up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your grid ruler to keep them nice and straight and evenly spaced when you adhere. And then we're going to have 2 tilted mats right there. The Believe, trim your circle, whether you die cut it or just trim with the scissors, and that can just go right out here with foam adhesive. In the top, sky above, earth below, peace within down here. Brilliant on the 3rd square. You're a star on the top square. And that's all the pieces I have. So on the finished page, for this, I just trimmed a 2-inch piece of ribbon, folded it in half and taped it to the back, and then added this with foam adhesive, plus topped it with a little star. Everything else just adhered normally. And on the left side, check out the little nebula. I put one on each side. And again, I usually save all the embellishments like this to the end, and I just have fun, you know, primping all the pages with the final decorations. So this is the place I chose, but you can put these anywhere, of course. Look how cool this looks, the round circle kind of out to the side. You can still see the burst here with foam adhesive. Made a tiny basic bow and added it just for a little something. I had plenty of ribbon left over, so don't be sparing. Be generous with your ribbon use. If you like this collection, we always make the cards every month, so join me for a fun card class. We're going to be making 12 greetings, so check this out. We make 4 like this with the cute little star embellishment. And then we make 4 slimline cards. These are really beautiful. If you remember, you can easily have a card kit added to your page kit. And then we're learning how to make this fun wiper card. Some of you have already made it. I've got some fun assembly tips for this really cool card structure. So join me at the Galaxy Card Assembly Workshop. Can't wait to see you over there. And I will see you back here to make more pages again next month. Thanks for joining me.